What is going down, world? Welcome to the 40s. I go by the name Black Pegasus. And today, I'm all the way in Belgium, all right? And I'm putting Belgium on to America.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got the one and only. He's actually the most famous YouTube reactor with the biggest YouTube reaction channel from Belgium, the one and only Anthony Ray. Welcome back to the channel, G.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate being here. This is the first one today.
Yes.
We're gonna get it started with this one. We just woke up. We said, man, let's get busy. And you wanted to show me Don Mclean, American Pie. You've actually been telling me about this.
Yeah.
Asking me, have you heard this? Have you heard that? And I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, this is like I don't want to go too crazy because I want you to hear it, but in my opinion, if I just spit a blurb, what would I say? This is like an iconic, historic musical time capsule.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a vintage Americana bomb. And I don't know, I'm excited because when I was out here, I didn't realize how you and Eshbloom, so I did some reactions with the national champion beatboxer Eshbloom from the Netherlands while I was out here too. And they're not really familiar with like American culture like that. They've been exposed to it. They rock with a lot of the music and stuff, but like some of the classic culture, which is the ripple effect for some of the stuff we're seeing now,
Yeah.
that we're influenced by, comes from the orators, you know, the originals. So I thought it'd be cool to put them in front of this.
So like other groups within America, you're saying, or do you say it expands internationally?
I'm saying that the influences, like I know the Beatles are from the UK, right?
Yeah.
But when you have, there's just certain groups that transcend in time. Like let's say even artists like a Joe Walsh and like the Eagles and like even like, you know, the Beatles.
I know
like
the Eagles. I don't know Joe Walsh.
He's in the Eagles.
Eagles is he's in the Eagles.
Yeah.
Is that Eagles is Hotel California?
Yes.
I know that one. That's a banger.
But there's these certain artists who, let's say,
Yeah.
even a producer like Kanye is you can tell he's influenced by the Beatles. So all I'm saying is,
I did not know that.
yeah, when you really listen, when you start going down the rabbit hole of all this music, you can hear it in their music, bro.
Okay.
That's why I'm on the classic stuff, because I learned so much.
Yeah,
And I'm starting to see the influences of this generation from the past. So anyways, let's do it, man. This is going to be a gem, I think, you guys. If you're here for it, like, share, comment, subscribe. I have original content on this channel if you want to check it out. I have another channel, Pegasus versus the World. But all the music and the music reactions happen right here on this channel. If you want early access, there is a membership for that. Link in the description. There's no obligation, but I do update it every single day. There's a big catalog. Eventually, everything there will be released to the public, so don't ever trip. And yo, go to Don Mclean. I think it's McLean or McLean. McLean, I think is how you say it.
You say McLean because it looks like McLean.
Yeah, but I think it's McLean. But man, that's kind of a
We
biffy.
could look it up later and to be sure.
Yeah, I should know though. But anyways, you guys rock with his channel. I always got to push people over to their original content creator because sometimes they just watch the reactions. It's really important that you go back and support the original content creator. That's the least we can do. But all right, let's rock, man. This is American Pie by the big homie Don.
Let's go.
A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. And I knew if I had my chance that I could make those people dance, and maybe they'd be happy for a while. But February made me shiver with every paper I deliver. Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widowed bride, but something touched me deep inside the day the music died. So bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so. Do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? And can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes. Man, I dig those rhythmic blues. I was a lonely teenage bronc and buck with a pink carnation and a pickup truck, but I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. I started singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye and singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Now for 10 years we've been on a...
What are you feeling? What are you sensing? What are you hearing right now?
So it's dark. The lyrics are quite dark. It's talking about death. It's talking about the American pie, Miss American Pie. Is this about the American dream? Is this about chasing a career? Is this about that? Because he mentioned, I don't know if I should cry when I heard about his widowed wife. Mm-hmm. So I'm out here thinking, who died?
And
is it an artist that died, or is this symbolic about music dying or something like that? You know, like, I'm not sure what it is about. I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Is this about, you know how they say, was it video killed the radio? Mm-hmm. Is this about that? Is this about like a transition in like a generation in music where it goes to something else and the previous thing just...
Yeah, so I'm just soaking this up, kind of getting goosebumps. We're having a moment here. I like how intuitive you are in trying to read this. And the reason I stopped it here specifically was because I also want to help be a guide through the song without, you know, pushing it over the edge. But the reason I stopped it is because it's very important to understand the first part. The first part, we're going into this concept of the day the music died. And so what happened was, this is about, so it's figurative and literal. Okay. In the literal sense, Buddy Holly. Have you ever heard of Buddy Holly? So Buddy Holly was a huge singer from the 50s. So was Richie Valens. Richie Valens did La 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 Bamba. Have you ever heard La Bamba?
Yeah. That song. Song was everywhere.
Richie Valens and the Big Bopper were in a plane and it crashed and they all died. So the symbol is, on that day, they all died in a plane crash. But the undertones, as I look into this to a second time, as I read the comments, as I've different things, as I'm hearing it right now, I get it. It just hit me, bro. That's why I said we're having a moment. Yeah. This is about the death of music in the 50s. So, also, this'll be the day that I die. Buddy Holly had a song, because I just reacted to it literally like a month ago. So all this stuff is connecting for me right now. He has a song, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Oh, that'll be the day that I die. And what he's saying is just like, I love you so much when you leave me. You know what I'm saying?
And he was on the plane.
He's flipping this.
This is a reference to that.
He's flipping this. But what's crazy?
I didn't know this.
I'm getting goosebumps right now, because the combination of the story. See, I knew the storyline of Buddy Holly, Big Hopper, and Richie Valens because my first time reaction, I saw this differently without knowing all of that, right? Mm-hmm. But then people started breaking a few things down in the comments. But what's hitting me right now is, in the 50s, music was kind of like doo-wop and do the twist, have fun. But in the 60s, it got dark and dystopian. So we're hearing, so he's literally, and so I feel like this first verse, he's talking about being like a teenager growing up in the 50s and dancing and like, yo, but then when Buddy Holly and them died, it's symbolic, like, yo, not only did they die, but the music changed. So, you know, I don't want to go too crazy, but that's, I just figured that out in real time right now because I was starting to understand because I go back and read my comments and try to get some game for these songs. But now I'm like, holy this is actually a symbol of the transition from the 50s to the 60s, I think.
You're probably right if it's a reference like that. I mean, the whole concept is about death of something, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking so what's the American Pie like reference, like by Miss American Pie?
So that's a good question.
Is it like, because American Pie, I'm thinking like everybody wants a piece of the American pie.
Yeah, a slice.
What you said, it was like the land of opportunity.
Yeah.
The where dreams come true. The hustle culture, which we talk about a lot. That's like all coming from America mainly, right? So that's what this is about.
And I always thought the symbol or the metaphor for the American pie was apple pie. Like there's always like this symbolic reference for apple pie and the American pie, but that's what I think, a slice of the American pie, or you know, when I hear it, it's like American pie is like, oh, it's sweet, it's good, right? And we're saying bye to the 50s essentially is what I'm kind of like, this happy time period.
So
and maybe
symbolic.
They were making American pie, like, you know, the 50s was that black and white shows with the white picket fences, and you could work a regular job and your wife didn't have to work. You know, you could provide for your full family. It was a different time.
Completely different
You
now.
know? So I think
different.
it's American pie kind of symbolizes America and the sweetness of it, and getting a slice of that American pie and opportunity. Y'all have to clear that up. I didn't even think of that. Like, I'm so wrapped up now. But all right, you can bring it back just a couple seconds and we'll just keep going.
Yeah,
but I didn't want you to just go through the whole song, like, because then that gives you a little bit of a tone to try to pick other things up, you know?
American pie, drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye and singing, this'll be the day that I die.
Just a heads up, because I don't edit this, but the lyrics
I'm gonna edit it. I've seen it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think I'm just gonna drop it because it's an audio.
I'm gonna edit it. Because it's a shit experience for the people. So
we're having a conversation. The screen froze.
No, they don't need to know that because
I'm not going to. I'm gonna. I release. That's what my channel is. There's something about just giving them the rawness that people vibe to. So I feel you.
Okay.
But I'm letting you guys know the lyrics might not have played, but we're really listening to it, and maybe we should put there's no closed caption on this, but I just giving you guys a heads up. I get like, because y'all will get in the comments like, oh, the lyrics stopped playing or whatever, but we're still listening. You still hear it.
It's technical difficulties. I don't know what it is because we were at a different spot yesterday, so we moved all this equipment. Something went wrong in the software, and I don't know what it is because I've never had this before. So my fix is post-production. I just edit it and put, like, you know, download the song and put it on top of it.
Yeah,
like I can do that. That's no problem.
This is just like when I listen to an audio track where there's just like the album cover, so it's fine. I just want them to get the full experience with all of the context. And when you edit stuff, sometimes they think you clipped it to make it look a certain way. And I kind of pride myself in the one take process. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So all right, let's go. We're gonna keep it moving, y'all.
Yep.
I die. This'll be the day that I die. Now for 10 years we've been on our own, and moss grows fat on a rolling stone, but that's not how it used to be. When the jester sang for the king and queen in a coat he borrowed from James Dean, and a voice that came from you and me. Oh, and while the king was looking down, the jester stole his thorny crown. The courtroom was adjourned. No verdict was returned. And while Lenin read a book on Marx, the quartet practiced in the park, and we sang dirges in the dark. The day the music died.
This is crazy because this is talking about we get James Dean is a movie star, right? Was he a movie
and a
star?
singer.
And a singer.
Yeah.
I know the name James Dean.
Yeah.
Was he like the bad boy in the 50s with the leather jacket and the
I
smokes?
don't really know. I think so.
And like the slick back hair. I've heard so much about
I'm getting
James
confused.
Dean.
I think he did a song, Big Bad John, but I don't know if that's him. Like, there's just so much I've heard.
And then we get Marxism.
You caught that.
What's the other one? It wasn't Stalin. Stalin's later. Karl Marx he mentions, and who the hell was the other one?
He mentioned Lenin. Is that
Lenin? He mentioned Lenin.
He mentioned Lenin. Yeah.
They're mentioning politics in this, and they're talking about communism. Okay.
Because the shift
In the
50s
50s
of the 60s, because the political shift in the landscape of what and that still is relevant to this day in 2025. The 60s and 70s shift. I'm not going to get too political. I don't get political on this channel specifically for a reason, but we can talk about it because it's in the song.
Yeah, it's mentioned.
So let's go back a little bit. He said moss on a Rolling Stone. So he's talking about the changes in the music from the 50s to the 60s. And now I'm really picking it up.
Is he talking about the Rolling Stones?
Yes.
Okay.
And then he mentions the king, who is Elvis. The jester, I'm not sure. Maybe it's Bob Dylan, because he's talking about the king giving his thorny crown. It might be to like Bob Dylan or someone like of that caliber for the time. And I'm freaking out because when he says Lenin, hold on, there's something I forget. I don't know so he mentions Marx, so we know calls Marx, but I've heard of Leninism, but I'm not really super familiar with Leninism, but I think he's talking about John Lennon here, potentially, but I could be wrong. So there's just a lot here to connect.
I don't think he's talking about John Lennon.
Yeah, maybe not, but
I think he's literally referring to Marxism. I forgot so you have Karl Marx. I forgot the other name of Lenin. I forgot it.
I know the basic overtones or undertones, whatever you want to call it, from Karl Marx and the concepts of Marxism, socialism, and communism.
Yeah, this is for something that's a classic. It has a very nostalgic sound to it. Very nostalgic.
This is one of those joints where I think it's in like a movie or something.
It's deep and layered with substance and references. And I wasn't. So I could say I wasn't expecting it, but I don't know what to expect really, because the only thing that I know from around that era is Elvis. That's the closest to it, and I've heard maybe 10 Elvis songs.
Got you.
So other than that,
yeah,
my knowledge on this is all new to me in a sense. Like I never did a deep dive into this.
This is when
it's interesting.
And I'm gonna say this in a respectful manner, but I'm just keeping it real. I think I'm starting to realize this. This was when America was cool. When America was super cool. Like right now, you're seeing all these different countries take American and Britain culture, and they're cool. Like K-pop, it's like they're cool now. And we're not as cool.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. But anyways, you guys, let's keep it moving. We rocking with your big homie Don. This is American Pie.
Marks, a quartet practiced in the park, and we sang dirges in the dark. The day the music died, we were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, and singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Helter skelter in the summer swelter, the birds flew off with a fallout shelter. 8 miles high and falling fast, it landed foul on the grass. The players tried for a forward pass, with the jester on the sidelines in a cast. Now the halftime air was sweet perfume, while the sergeants played a marching tune. We all got up to dance, oh, but we never got the chance, 'cause the players tried to take the field. The marching band refused to yield. Do you recall what was revealed today? The music I watched him on the stage, my hands were clenched in fists of rage. No angel born in hell could break that Satan's spell. And as the flames climbed high into the night to light the sacrificial rite, I saw Satan laughing with delight the day the music died. He was singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. I met a girl who sang the blues, and I asked her for some happy news, but she just smiled and turned away. I went down
Hold
to
up.
the sacred store.
When was the blues introduced, really? Like the genre?
I don't know. You want me to look it up?
Yeah, because this could be, if we're talking about the death of the music in the 50s, and you said it.
When was the introduction of blues music? Or when was it born? And where?
So if it was in the 60s, then those lyrics make sense. And also the way that it becomes somber, it becomes like sadder, where he said, I met a girl that sang the blues. If it came after the 50s,
This is crazy. So
then it makes sense that
the birth of the blues music in general is traced to the late 19th to the early 20th century in the deep south of the United States.
Okay.
Mississippi Delta, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, parts of Alabama and Georgia. Time frame post-Civil War era 1800s roots, 1890 to 1910s early development, 1920s first commercial recording.
Okay.
The origins were born from the lived experience of African Americans. Work songs, filled hollers, spirituals, calls, and response chants. So there's a lot here. Like, it's interesting because this song is actually so layered. It's cryptic. The lyrics are abstract.
Eerie, man.
Bro,
It's eerie.
it's really eerie, but it's so palatable. It's just like,
So this is what I like when songs do this. They have this dark undertone when you really pay attention to the lyrics, but they sound so joyful. So you might be listening to a song like, oh, this is a great song, and then you pay attention to the lyrics, you're like, okay, this is about some real shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, how memorable this is, like how catchy this is. Songs nowadays, catchy songs just repeat one sentence over and over and over.
Yeah.
This doesn't have that. It's there's more variety in the words being chosen, but the entire thing is memorable. Like I can picture anybody knows all the words to this. Like it's just singing all of it, because it kind of shows more like the quality of the music then.
There's a reference that I missed. Maybe in the comments they'll pick up for me. The Jack. He started saying Jack, and I'm trying to think of what am I missing? When he said Jack so many times, I'm like, why am I missing this reference? Because I picked up on the Helter Skelter. Are you familiar with Helter Skelter?
No.
This is a song by the Beatles.
Okay.
But Charles Manson, I didn't know this. I just did a reaction to Helter Skelter by the Beatles, and I'm finding out that Charles Manson was obsessed with the Beatles.
Okay.
And he wrote like Helter Skelter in Blood on a refrigerator. Like during some like, bro, it's so when
and
he said Helter Skelter, he said this.
Wait, the song Helter Skelter already existed?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
And then he said Helter Swelter, the summer swelter, and I think, I don't know, but like the stuff that happened with Charles Manson, I think it's happened in like a Hollywood summer or something like that. I could be wrong, but there's just a lot here, bro. Like you could go through this and keep unencrypting this.
That flew over my head. I had no idea.
Yeah, so like there's just a lot here, but this is actually fun re-diving because there's no reason for me to re-react to this. I guess there is when these lyrics are this deep. Bro, Hotel California is crazy. That's another one where you really got to unpack the lyrics. There's so
I never unpacked the lyrics. I never did a reaction to it.
Dark,
I know the
scary.
song. I know the song, and of course it's like it's a huge song, and I like the song. I've never broke down the lyrics,
bro.
So I don't really know what it's about. I'm down to do that. To be fair, like
Don Henley
unraveling.
throwing strikes like a fastball.
I don't care about the strikes. Like whatever, man. Like,
Hey, let's get it though.
I'm actually curious, like genuinely curious.
Maybe we'll
about
do that for your channel.
Yeah, we could do that,
do
or
whatever.
yours. It's whatever. I like the song too.
Yeah.
This one too. Is mad catchy. This is I basically grew up in the 2000s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a whole a bunch of catalogs, multiple catalogs, generations that I just missed because I wasn't existing, and now I'm going back in time, finding out stuff about. Bro, I've been checking out Phil Collins, AC/DC, with you, going back in time.
Yeah.
And I grew up on that Black Sabbath and that Ozzy Osbourne. That is what I really like. And I know a little bit of like Deep Purple, for example. But and these are decades ago still. But my music knowledge, let's say, or what I've consumed, is mainly 2000s and later.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then I went back into the 90s boom bap rap and the rock hymn and all that.
I mean, I'm very similar. That's why my channel's starting to buzz, because I'm finding out about all this stuff in real time,
Yeah.
So all right, let's ride. We'll just probably ride the rest of the track. I think we got about 2 minutes or a minute and 40 left or something. So
Yeah.
Where I'd heard the music years before, but the man there said the music wouldn't play. And in the streets the children screamed, the lovers cried and the poets dreamed, but not a word was spoken. The church bells all were broken. And the three men I admire most, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, they caught the last train for the coast. The day the music
Hold on.
died.
Is this about the plane crash?
I think he's putting a symbol. I think
Because with the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, of course, I catch that reference. But who you said 3 artists were on the plane? 3.
Yes, Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens. I think it's a dual. Like, this is why I'm getting goosebumps,
This is double entendre here, man.
he's going pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The 3 men I respect the most, but also he's probably a religious dude.
Mm-hmm.
So he like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, I pay reverence to these musical icons just the same way I do God. Also, like, it's almost like a triple entendre in a sense, because the way it's all interweaving with layers. This is incredible songwriting.
Substance.
This is just insane.
Yeah. Yeah, incredible songwriting. Just in the beginning, that one line that he said, what he said, I don't know if I should feel bad for the widows.
The widowed bride.
The widowed bride. So, you could say, in a sense, he's saying, I felt bad that he died. But he put it, that songwriting, I don't know if I should feel bad for the widow's bride. Like, that's songwriting. Because like when you say the sky is blue, but then you put these poetic terms on it, like, oh, the vast openness of the endless, that's songwriting. It's just poetic, writing it differently and stuff. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They were singing, bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. They were singing, bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die.
It's funny because I've reacted to this before, and like, low key, I want to cry, like, not for real, but like, bro, this just hit me. This is like, I think the symbol is, like I said, for the day the music died with the 3 brothers, and then the death of music from the 50s to 60s, because it went really dystopian. But bro, fast forward to present day, this is all, I just felt like I'm saying bye to America. Remember when we were sitting at the cafe and I was telling you all the problems in America?
Yep.
America has changed dramatically from the 50s, and some would say there's some great things that have happened from the civil rights movement, but it like I don't want to get too crazy here, but like statistically, like households stayed together in the 50s. Like there was a lot of stuff, like all this, like the gun crime that I was talking to you about in America right now. That's like these dystopian things that people are doing. Like I don't think guns are bad, but some of the shit people do with them is horrible in America. And it's like this, it's almost like he's like this fun time of the 50s went into the dystopian 60s. I told you how I started noticing this mental health music in the 90s from new metal. Yeah. And it's just like, I'm like, holy shit, I'm seeing America in the timeline of music in this moment. And something really did, like he's really saying bye. Like he's really saying bye. And I'm not saying America's all bad. It's not still the land of opportunity, etc. But something did end with this. It's just kind of weird. I mean, I don't know. I just got a feeling in that moment. I don't know. This
is deep. This is eerie. I think it becomes, with time, it becomes eerie. You kind of get I don't even say this, like a glass ball to look back into the past, and you travel back in time through this music. So for me, listening to this for the first time, it's very eerie. Mm-hmm. That's a great way to describe it. It's eerie. I get what it is. It sounds nostalgic. It sounds like it's from decades ago, but I think it still holds up. It's timeless. I think it's timeless listening to this, but it's very strange and eerie what's being said.
The
vibe that I get.
I forget where I first heard this. Like you hear this in like an American movie or something, I don't know, or maybe you just hear it like the "Bye Bye Miss American Pie." That's always been familiar to me. Mm. But now that I don't know, I did a reaction to this and I was baffled, and now I'm even more baffled by having just a little more understanding. I'm sure there's things that was missed too that you could, that's what just makes real art just amazing. And I don't know, I feel like I'm at a like this weird funeral for America like right now, bro. It's so strange. Oh man. Anyways, hopefully not, but we gonna find out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. I actually enjoyed this.
This was a long one too.
Yeah,
we're at over half hour of recording.
This is like damn near three reactions.
I just noticed. That we're over half hour recording because there's just so much depth in here, so much substance, so much we had to talk about.
Yeah,
I guess that's a good thing. Some people like the videos where it's just an 8-minute reaction.
Yeah,
or like a 5-minute reaction, but you can't unpack all of this or try to unpack all of this. Talk about what's being addressed in the song in 8 minutes. This is one of those songs. Damn.
Yeah.
And it's two people as well.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here because without you I wouldn't know all of this stuff.
Yeah. I thought about that when we were thinking of stuff to get into. I was like, no, I could be like a guide, and this could be
that's
like
perfect.
Honestly,
this is why I want to do Hotel California, because you'll tell me so much stuff that I could look it up, but it's not the same experience.
Yeah, the other we'll keep things moving so we don't get too long-winded, but I also think there's we stumble across moments where our reactions can be kind of timeless as well. Like when you're uncovering stuff and it's not just, oh my god, this is so cool. When you actually uncover shit, like people, it's just, I don't know. We're in a new era. There's no such thing as a reaction video when I was growing up, there was.
This is the thing about reactions. Basically what it is, you show your friends or people around you in your circle stuff and there's that joy. This is what the viewer does. This is how they experience it. They're showing us stuff, they're introducing us stuff like we're friends, like we're in their close circle, and they're explaining things to us like, oh, this happened here, this and that, and then they get to see that initial first reaction response. What? He said this? Yeah. No way, this is about this. And you putting 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
This is the same thing when I used to show my friends growing up, because we're in Belgium. People speak English in Belgium, but like breaking down American double entendres on like rap music and stuff. Like I was breaking down Eminem songs to my friends that didn't really fully comprehend English, but I was explaining it in Dutch.
Yeah,
it's like he did this and that, and he schemed this and that, and they're saying, what, he did that?
Yeah,
because there's layers to this, and I'm getting the same vibe. But then the perspective is yours, not mine, showing it to my friends. But you guys are showing us this stuff, and now you're showing me this.
Yeah.
So it's always just that.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, you guys, let us know what we got, what we missed. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one.